What's going on, guys? It's Jimmy here with your second stimulus check update. Several big ticket news items we've got to go over today. Also going to include the second stimulus package that was just announced. More details on that, including what to expect on the second stimulus check with that package and what President Donald Trump is saying, and key senators regarding that. And they have to pass this by the end of this week, or else the government will shut down. Lots to cover in this video, a lot of big news going on. Let's jump right into it. First, just don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe down below if you haven't yet. This way you won't miss out on new videos regarding the second stimulus check and related news. Okay, first up, as the vaccine is now being distributed in the United States has passed a grim barrier of over 300,000 people that have now passed away from this virus, with more happening every day. As high as 3,000 people per day right now, with 200 and some thousand people catching the virus per day. We're expecting to see that number even go up more as the cases happen first, obviously, and then, some people don't make it afterwards. Also, there's a new virus variant in the United Kingdom that is spreading now also. And as you can see from this graph, we're actually hitting record highs of new all-time deaths per day in the United States, some days of over 3,000, and that's before this new variant comes, as they're starting to get the vaccine out, but the vaccine will probably not cover this new variant that they have found in Europe. Also, the Electoral College has finished their vote, with Joe Biden officially being elected as the president-elect from the Electoral College vote. The ballots were cast by individual electors in all 50 states and the District of Columbia and mirrored each state's popular votes. There were not any surprises. Biden won 306 electoral votes to Trump's 232 through the Electoral College official vote. The next major event, and really the final event, is a joint session of Congress on January 6th, which both chambers, the Senate and the House, will officially count the electoral votes. Also interesting, in a Washington Post survey from a week ago, of all 249 congressional Republicans in Congress, only 27 of them said they accepted Biden as the legitimately elected president. Another 220 Republican lawmakers gave an unclear answer or did not respond and said they believed Trump was the rightful winner of the election. So again, that final kind of step in the Electoral College process is January 6th. January 5th is also going to be a really big day and will affect the stimulus checks, stimulus packages, and everything stimulus going forward. And that is the Georgia Senate runoff vote, basically the kind of like tiebreaker vote that will happen on January 5th, will determine what happens in the Senate and who actually leads the Senate. There's 2 Senate seats up for grabs on January 5th from the Senate. And as you can see here, right now it's 50 Republicans to 48 Democrats. The Democrats already control the U.S. House of Representatives, and Biden will be inaugurated at the end of January. So that's Democrat and Democrat. That only leaves the Senate. There's currently 50 seats that have been won by the Republicans, with 48 by the Democrats, and the last 2 seats are up for grabs on this kind of like extra runoff vote on January 5th. And if the Democrats win both of these seats, it'll be a 50-50 tie, which the tie-breaking vote will then go to the vice president, which will be Kamala Harris. And interestingly enough, both of these Senate seats, as you can see here, are actually being led by the Democrats. You can see Ossoff versus Perdue. The blue is obviously the Democrat, the red is the Republican. The Democrats winning here by 1% in the Georgia runoff polls. And in the other Georgia seat, the Democrat Warnock is also winning versus the Republican Loeffler by about 1.5 percentage. So interestingly enough, is both Democrats are currently winning those 2 Georgia Senate runoff seats. If they do, it will be a 50-50 tie in the Senate, with the tiebreaker going to the vice president. If that happens, that will complete what they call the blue wave, which is the Democratic-controlled House, slight majority in the Senate and the presidency, where some bills they will be able to pass without any Republican support at all. There's certain bills that only need a simple majority of 51 votes. There's other bills that need 60 votes to pass a filibuster. So maybe they need 9 to 10 Republican votes. They need a little bit of bipartisan. There's some votes where they won't need any Republican support. They can pass it with the simple majority of 51. And then there's also the reconciliation process where they can pass some votes with a bypass of a simple majority of 51 votes with one bill per subject per year. And the Democrats are saying that they could pass the largest stimulus package ever in the history of the world without any Republican support if that happens. So that January 5th runoff vote in the Senate will be very interesting to see if that does happen and if they can pass a huge $3 trillion stimulus bill without any Republican support at all. If you didn't see last night's video where the Problem Solvers bipartisan group from the U.S. House of Representatives, both Republicans and Democrats, released their $908 billion bill, we pretty much got all the details of that here in this, which the main points are $300 per week unemployment extension for 16 weeks, more money for the PPP, billions of dollars for food and rent assistance, which I can help you guys get after they pass this bill, if they pass it, which they have to pass this bill by Friday, or else the government will shut down. Now, the interesting part is they split this into two bills. One is a $748 billion bill, which is pretty much all that stuff in there, minus the money for states and cities, which Democrats want, and minus the liability protection, which the Republicans want. They put that in a separate bill. That bill is $160 billion because that's the money that will go to states and cities. If they pass that side bill or they pass them together, there will be rent assistance money that I will be able to help you guys get through that $160 billion, which is basically where all this money, with all this rent assistance and these state stimulus checks that I've been bringing to you guys, I'll have a new one for you guys in just a few minutes here. That money comes from states and cities. So if they do pass that bill on its own or on the side, there will be more rent assistance money that I will be able to get you guys going forward. But really the big thing is going to be, are they going to pass this bill, which has this $300 per week unemployment extension, $1,200 per month, rent assistance, food assistance, student loan forbearance. What's interesting is that I think they took the student loan forgiveness out of this bill. Joe Biden wants to pass that, but that won't be till next month if that happens. They extended student loan forbearance, but it looks like they took out forgiveness because, again, this is a bipartisan bill. We're going to see more Democratic bills coming in January and February as early as next month. But they have a student loan forbearance there. They have a new mortgage eviction forbearance extension, moratorium extension, all sorts of different things in there. But the question is, will they add stimulus checks on top of these unemployment checks and this mortgage and rental assistance? And the other real question is Mitch McConnell and Nancy Pelosi going to go for this? Are they going to try to push to add stimulus checks in there? Are they going to be okay with passing one or both of these smaller bills? There's going to be a lot that happens. President Donald Trump says that he is in favor of another stimulus check to be included in this bill of at least $1,200. So we'll have to see if he can get this pushed in. We're also seeing Bernie Sanders and Josh Hawley push for this bill to have a $1,200 stimulus check, or else they say that they're not going to vote for it, and they're going to try to drum up enough support if they do not include a $1,200 stimulus check amendment or a standalone bill. If they can't agree on either of these other bills, that they could just pass the $1,200 stimulus check bill on its own. Here's what Bernie Sanders has to say.
And $600 or $500 for children. I think the Democratic caucus is ready to go forward on that. Yesterday, I sent out a letter with 5 other senators, and I think we can have virtually all of the United States Democratic senators on board. The question now is whether or not Mitch McConnell is going to turn his back, as your report just indicated, on the incredible suffering that the American people, the working people, are now experiencing. Unemployment high. We have a record level of hunger in America. Millions of people are facing evictions. This is an emergency. Congress has got to respond aggressively to help working families. You know, Stephanie, I always get a kick. Here in Washington, when we go to war, there's endless amounts of money. Tax breaks for billionaires, endless amounts of money. Corporate welfare, endless amounts of money. When children are going hungry in America today, suddenly we don't have enough money. That's wrong.
Whew, you heard him there. Bernie's fired up. Normally I don't lean left or right, but I agree with everything he said there. I mean, I really think they need to include at least a $1,200 stimulus checks in there. Yes, Joe Biden says there's more to come next month, but we need money now, and we need more than just the unemployment and the rent assistance. That's great, but I really feel if they can pass this smaller $748 billion bill and add that stimulus check amendment on there, which you heard Bernie Sanders say at the beginning of that clip, that there's more and more support from both sides, that everybody he's talked to says they're in favor of that amendment of $1,200. They passed that $748 billion and the amendment for $1,200 stimulus checks and $500 for children. That'll be right around $1 trillion, and that's not more than a lot of Republicans are willing to spend. Remember, they only need 12 Republicans in the Senate to vote for that. If they add that amendment on there and that bill will get a lot by, at least for the time being, over the next month until we get to the end of January to pass more stimulus. That'll provide $1,200 per month for unemployed people, a $1,200 stimulus check for all the other individuals. Unemployed people would get both of those. Then we'd have more mortgage and rental assistance. There's money for mortgage and rental assistance in that bill directly. And then if they pass more money for states and cities, there'll be more money coming around for more rental assistance through those programs also. Also, I want to bring you another state that is passing rent assistance for 6 months. They will pay your rent. This actually comes from a viewer here who commented down below. Jack Landis, thank you so much for bringing our attention to this. He says, hey, Jimmy, I've been trying to tell you about the program for Missouri and Missouri Rental Arrears Program that is paying 6 months of back rent for people. Just Google Missouri Rental Arrears Program and it comes up with a link. It doesn't help me because I had my hours cut and I have chosen to pay rent over food, but I hope it helps someone else that watches your program. Thank you so much, Jack. I'm sure it will. Let me show you guys the program. If only more people like Jack were in Congress, we would actually have a lot more stimulus programs being passed. Even though we have these rent assistance programs, obviously we need a lot more during this once in a 100-year pandemic. As you can see here from Missouri Rent Assistance Program, I just got this by Googling Missouri Rental Arrears Program, brings this up. And yes, a one-time payment of up to 6 months of rental arrears will be made to the landlord on the tenant's behalf. So for example, if your rent is $1,000 a month, that would be a $6,000 payment. They would pay your rent there for you. Or if it's $1,500 a month, that would be $9,000 that this program will pay for your rent in the state of Missouri. These rent assistance and state stimulus programs are really awesome. If you guys know of any, comment them down below here, like our good friend Jack did to help out our viewers in Missouri for the entire state. If you know of any others, comment them down below. I will be bringing you more in every upcoming video, along with the update on the federal stimulus package. So make sure you're subscribed and share this video so others like you will know about these videos coming out at 10 a.m., 3 p.m., and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You can click this top video here to watch my newest stimulus check video next. And this video teaches you how to start your own business selling products on Amazon FBA from home, where you basically sell products on Amazon, which is where everybody shops now. And you're actually buying from other sellers, kind of similar how eBay is. But most people don't really know that a lot of products on Amazon actually come from individual sellers like me. So click on one of those videos to watch them next. Thanks, guys, and I will see you in the next video.